Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. It's just a little threesome here. We got myself, Trent, and Frankie.
Oh.
You guys are in studio. Lurch is not here. Threesome, I guess, was probably the wrong
terminology, but accurate.
I'd lick your tits first in a threesome. Welcome to the Barstool Golf Show.
Trent, what's that hoodie?
It's the Buddha Ben hoodie.
Dude, that's fire.
Thank you.
Man, that's the most aggressive way to ever start a podcast.
That was really.
Sorry, I want to apologize.
No, you don't have to. Certainly don't have to apologize to me. That was actually a compliment.
When we said
have you thought about licking his titties?
Well, no, I just thought about how would I start it off, and I looked at Trent and I said, "Yeah, that's probably where I would start."
Woo!
Who's right?
Yeah, this is a Buddha.
Is that
Ben
how
hoodie.
they start? Does somebody just start?
I don't know, man.
You say
I don't know.
We just started. What do you?
It'd be cool to find out.
Wow.
Wow.
What do you think? Keep it?
I was actually thinking, like,
I know.
There's no way we're putting that out.
I saw the look. You're like, all right, now when do we actually start? Holy shit.
Woo, that's a hard.
Hey, we got two guests on this show. Two guests on this show.
God.
We got Leona Maguire, who was an absolute stalwart for the European team in the Solheim Cup, decimated America, which obviously sucked, but she's a stone cold killer. She's on this show for 20, 30 minutes, Jake Bass. How long we have her on the show?
About 20, 25 minutes.
I really like her. We interviewed her in person down when we were in Orlando, and silent killer is the best way to put it. You almost have to watch that one on YouTube, because when we say things to her about the Americans or about her golf game or about match play, she just smiles and grins and smirks. And I thought she was great. I really liked having her on the show.
She was very serious. First introductions were just very much hello with a handshake. And I was like, whoa, this is going to be a weird one, because she's very into it and serious. And I didn't know if she was going to be able to kind of like flow with us. And immediately you could tell that she was had the best personality ever, loves the game of golf, loves to talk about the game of golf, loves to talk about competition, loves to beat Americans apparently on the golf course. So, no, everything about her was awesome, and I really, really enjoyed that interview. It was one of those shocking ones, because she just came off the range. She said she was there hitting balls since like 8 a.m., and I just didn't – it felt like we were like impeding on her like her workout of the winter and like getting ready for her season, and she couldn't have been better, and it was one of my favorite interviews of the week, because she is a stone cold killer, man. Stone cold killer.
It's a good point, too, because she was she's one of those via text. She came off way different than she is in person. Like every text she would send would have like an exclamation point. I'd be like, hey, Leona, like we'd love to have you on the podcast. I got your number from, one of the guys at the Hilton Grand Vacations. And then she'd be like, hey, exclamation point. Like, I'd love to be on the show. And then when she came on, she's a stone cold killer, which is just different than that type of texting. But she was cool. She was awesome. She's going to be an absolute star. She's clearly going to win a bunch of tournaments. And we had her on. She was cool. And then we had Dixon on as well, who 2015, I believe, she was Miss America, and she has transitioned into obviously golf reporter, journalist. After rounds, she does a bunch of the post-round player interviews, and we got into some of the weeds, I would say, into like the nervousness, the bloopers, what it's like asking the questions, and a lot of the kind of ins and outs of what goes on with like post-round interviews, which I actually found really interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too, because we're technically in the same world as her, right? But and she mentions this, she talks about it as an ecosystem. We represent very different ends of it. And there's all different types of golf media, and everybody kind of falls in their own lane in the ecosystem. So having her talk about that and talk about what it's like to be on live TV and having to say something and coming up with questions, listening to the person you're interviewing, I thought that was a really interesting side of it, because on this show you get the stupid shit for the most part, and for her, she is like very professional. And if you ever watch Golf Channel or any of the coverage of the tournaments, you know who she is, and she's great on the coverage, and I thought she was great on the show.
She is the exact opposite, I would say, of Frankie. She is like, Frankie, you're a little dark and sort of pessimistic about stuff. She is like bubbly and optimistic and just super positive about everything. And it was one of those where it's like, you don't we have a PGA Tour player on, it's clearly like, oh, this could be, they've won tournaments. We have her on. I was like, what exactly are we going to talk about? And we could have talked to her for 4 hours, it feels like her ability to kind of convey what it's like, how she got in the spot that she's in, and then what it is like behind the scenes as players are wrapping up their rounds, what's going on in the microphone. It was fascinating. Like, I could have listened to her talk, I feel like, all day long about it. I thought it was really
she was
interesting.
fantastic. I tried to bring her down to my level
You
of
did.
pessimisticity.
Pessimism.
Fuck.
But yeah, Riggs is right that you guys are opposites to a degree, because you guys, I wouldn't, butting heads is the wrong way to describe it, but you guys throughout the interview, you tried to bring her to your level.
Well, she was about to tee off in the tournament, playing with Lydia Ko's and the Danielle Kangs of the world, and I said, "Aren't you nervous? You have to go hit golf shots in front of these people?" And she's like, "Well, I wasn't really thinking about that." So a lot of that was me trying to show her the way that I think about the world, and she's very much the opposite, where she sees the good in the world. She likes to be happy. She likes to take everything in, and and just go with it in stride. And I like to be nervous about it. I like anxiety. I like to talk about all the bad things that are going to happen. So there was a nice little mix there, and yeah, she was great. I do want to say that a little peek behind the curtain. We were on our way to Disney right after that interview.
Yeah.
So if that interview was cut a little bit shorter than it should have been, that's maybe on me. We could have talked to her for 2 hours, and all I kept thinking about was entering those doors at the end of that interview. I'm like, we're about to leave here and go to the happiest
You had
place
Mickey
on
Mouse
earth.
on your.
I had Mickey Mouse on the brain.
I didn't think we cut it.
We didn't. I'm just saying, like, we could have talked for 7 hours, but I remember just being like, all right, we had a great interview. Now we have to go to Disney. I remember giving someone a look, being like, we got to go to Disney.
Yeah, we'll definitely have her back.
We have to, because we could talk to her about a lot more things. And I did a lot, like, she won Miss America. Yeah. And full disclosure, like, I didn't know much about that prior to us interviewing her. Like, I knew that she was Miss America. I knew that was a storyline, but like, I didn't I hadn't read up on it. I didn't like go back and watch like how she won it and all that stuff. And like, I ended up going back. Like, she's a fucking superstar.
Yeah.
Winning Miss America is no joke. It is no joke.
Yeah.
You are like paraded around like the president. It's crazy.
I knew nothing about winning Miss America. Like, I thought maybe they I thought bad things about it. I thought they like keep you in a fucking cage and like they only let you come out when you're supposed to like walk across the stage. Like, I think
there's bad. There's what's the word I'm looking for? Like people think poorly of pageants and pageant moms and all of that stuff.
Got a strange reputation.
Weird stigma and reputation is the word I was looking for. And I think she just kind of like crushes all those, because she's like the happiest, nicest, and most down to earth person ever. Feels like she probably just went right through that whole entire system and just crushed everyone and just left. You know what I mean? Like, everything about her rise to the top in like in the pageantry world, like, she just stunned them. Like, she's not exactly what you're supposed to be when it comes like that. When I think of like the pageants, I don't think of Keira Dixon. You know what I mean? She's like such a normal person.
Yeah, the reputation is much different.
Yeah. You think of like a stuck up, like, oh, I have to have my hair a certain way,
like,
cutthroat.
ruthless.
If you're not dressed a certain way, like, you might as well not even show up to the pageantry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like she does not like that at all. I think
she did that.
She just showed up and won.
And then she went and got her master. Like, the whole.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah, the whole story of her trajectory is very, very interesting.
She was amazing.
Speaking of dress the right way, we got to talk about Bearbottom Clothing. Make getting dressed the easiest part of your day with Bearbottom. You excited about this one, Frank?
They sent me a bunch of stuff.
Well, this is the thing. Like, we get all these amazing partners with this podcast, and it's one of the greatest gifts that God has ever given me. Is all of these amazing
because of the
brands.
listeners. Thank you, listeners,
and the listeners. Because of the listeners. But when I get like a surprise package to my house when it comes from one of these supporters, advertisers, partners, it is like Christmas morning. I mean, I had no idea what Bearbottom was. I didn't know we were working with them. I just saw the name on the box and I said, what the hell is this? Bearbottom. I love the name. It sounds very comfy. It sounds very stylish. It's like, I can't wait to open this. Opened it up. I had a long sleeve shirt, which I don't usually wear. I had a nice thin hoodie, and then these pants, these amazing different colored pants. I wear the same pants every day. I wear these light jeans, and then I have these crazy, wacky brown pants that you sometimes tell me that it doesn't look like me, the khakis.
Yeah, every time you wear them, I'm
stunned. So now I have this olive pant from Bearbottoms, and I've had these black pants from Bearbottoms, and the shirt is so comfortable. I wore it out to dinner the other night, and everyone was looking at me like, wow, you actually look good. Question mark. So Bearbottom, it was an amazing surprise. Talk to us a little bit about what they're offering here, Riggs, because this is a good company. This is one to keep your eye on. This is a company that may stick with us until, the bottom of the ninth. We're only in the top of the first of Bearbottom right now.
Well, Frankie, they want you to try on any of their joggers, shorts, or tees. You will immediately understand why so many guys have made Bearbottom a staple of their closet, sold exclusively through their own site. You're going right to the source for premium threads without the premium price. You can check out their latest styles at bearbottomclothing.com/Fore, and you can get free shipping on your first purchase. That's bearbottomclothing.com/Fore. These guys just make a great product. It's awesome. They make really good stuff. Everybody likes to look good, feel good. bearbottomclothing.com/Fore. Little scheduling update. We got Band and Dunes, episode 5. Is this 5? Did we do 5 episodes?
Mm-hmm.
Final episode. This is, in my opinion, a top 5 course in the world, Band and Dunes. It is probably, I like trails a lot. Mm-hmm. But I would say Band and Dunes is probably my favorite course at Band and Dunes. David McClay Kidd. Trent and I have had him on before. I think he came on before Frankie joined the show. Was David McClay Kidd on when you were on, Frankie?
Maybe it was like when I was joining shows when I could, and I may have missed that interview.
Yeah,
I think that was
it was a long time of weird, murky waters where I just didn't show up to the podcast.
Well, you would come in from the gallery. We'd bring you in for questions. And then we slowly integrated you.
I kind of just picked and choose when I wanted to do the podcast, kind of like Lurch.
Whenever you weren't doing pizza reviews.
Right.
If you were
he's not here, so I do think this is a good time to talk shit about him.
Yeah, he doesn't show up.
Uh-huh. No, I thought that was a clean shot that you gave him. He would say, I know what he would say.
He's got a real job.
We've had these discussions a million times.
This isn't a real job, I guess.
Yeah.
See, there's that negativity from me.
No,
I love Lurch. I really do. You can see Lurch is starting to grow on me on these fucking trips. And Band and Dunes, he was great. And
he's a great trip guy.
He's a great guy.
He's just a great.
He's an infuriating person. He's a great guy.
Perfect in person. He's a little bit like we were just talking about Kira. He's like bubbly and infectious, and he's like hugging people that he sees, and he's a great trip guy, like you just said. But when anybody's not here, whether it was me, whether it was Trent, Lurch, we're gonna talk shit. We have to talk shit about him. Like,
he's a fantastic human being, Lurch, and I'm glad to have him as a friend. I just wish we could figure out how he can get on the show more. That's just me being honest.
Yeah.
And
that's fair.
And
really
full disclosure, we're pulling the curtain back on this show a lot today, but he has a schedule. He has meetings, he has calls and all these things, and he can't just miss his other jobs. So like we're not gonna like not do the show when we can do the show. We have 3 people moving around all over the place. Riggs is in Arizona, Trent's doing bachelor stuff, I'm flying all over the place. There's no way we're gonna do it at 11 o'clock at night, because that's when he stops doing his fucking phone calls. So whenever he can take some time off of his job, or maybe in between calls, or maybe in between, his job's insane, by the way. The guy travels more than the president. I mean, he drove from like Colorado to fucking Washington, and like he literally drove there. So it's like the stuff he has to do is insane.
He is whatever the platinum, the highest level of every airline in the world, he has it.
Yeah.
Because he travels so much. Yeah. Every time we go anywhere and he is in like a normal seat like the rest of us or whatever, he walks up to that desk and just says, "I'm Ben Lurch." And they just give him whatever he wants, because he has so much racked up, because his job is insane. He travels.
Well, shout out. I mean, Axon has one hell of a worker on their hands. That guy travels the world for that company. He is. We've seen the other side. I cannot believe how much that guy works. He works non-stop.
Yeah.
Last year, I always try to shove this down people's throat to like get a little bit of sympathy. I took 93 commercial flights last year. Lurch just took more. Like,
yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's like nothing. And he travels infinitely more than that. He is on the road all of the time.
Yeah.
All of
it. And shout out, like when we're done with the podcast, he has calls after that. You know what I mean? So he's constantly working. He's doing his thing. One day we'll bring him over here so we can get that big brain and head just fully onto the podcast so we can take this thing to the fucking moon. But until then, we'll figure it out. Lurch is, he's just Lurch right now.
I also think Lurch sneaky hates being called Lurch.
Really?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think he loves it.
No,
I think he kind of loves it.
No, I think he likes Ben. I think he always tries to be like, hey, I'm Ben. Like, they kind of call me Lurch, but like, I'm Ben.
Yeah, I've heard that.
He
But
does do that when we
You
meet
know
new
what I'm
people.
saying?
Well, he thinks this whole thing's like a joke. Like, he always says, he goes, these guys like call me Lurch on this like thing we do on the internet. It's like, dude, it's the biggest golf podcast on the
We're like, no,
planet.
that's like why you're meeting this person.
Literally the biggest
because
golf
of that
podcast on the planet. Look at the stats. He just like acts like it's just a thing. But he's very polite too. So like when he introduces himself, I think he feels a little embarrassed that he has to say the name Lurch to like the owner of a golf course or something. You know what I
Right,
mean?
we're
Like,
meeting some like
he doesn't
important
like it. I
people
think he
sometimes.
hates it.
this is a lot of shit talk behind Lurch's back.
I think it's fine.
It
It's
is fine. No, I think he would appreciate that we're actually talking about it because this guy fucking he lives 2 lives.
Yeah, and I'm sure people are curious sometimes. Like,
So
why is
curious.
it only the 3 of us sometimes? And it's just like
And
Frank.
he's missed so many podcasts in the last like 2 months, so they have to know. I mean,
Yeah, and it's like Frankie's saying, like Riggs is all over the place doing a bunch of different things. I'm sometimes doing different things when The Bachelor is on, which now feels like 365 days a year. So whenever we can fit it in, we fit it in. And if it's just the 3 of us, that's just what it is.
Lurch gets a little bit screwed on that sense too, because we originally, Trent and I, a little more peeks behind the curtain,
Bring the
and
curtain
with
back.
Frankie, Trent and I originally were told you could do the podcast, but it can't interfere with your actual jobs, which
That's
was blogging, 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. So we would record the podcast at like 9 p.m. on like Monday or Tuesday. And then once we added Frankie was doing pizza reviews and working for Dave all the time. So we would again have to, at not usual work hours, we would like sneak into the podcast room and record a podcast with Frankie. So now when we get a time where we could just record our podcast in the middle of a work day and live like a real life afterwards and go to, I don't know, dinner or something with our friends, we choose to do that, and Lurch gets fucked because he has an actual day job, because this isn't a real job, and he misses shows a lot. So you're right,
Yeah.
Frankie. It's important.
There's a
to tell
lot of the
people why he
stuff
misses
that
shows all the
even
time.
he didn't see. Like you just Lurch didn't really see all that, and he's kind of like, it's not like naive to all that, but he doesn't understand how hard it was at the actual office to get this podcast up and running in a way that we wanted to. We literally hid the fact that I was on the show. I was publicly on the show for a year and a half, and we hid it from Dave Portnoy.
He didn't know.
He didn't know that I was on the show. He never once
No idea.
There was never a time when he needed me that I wasn't there. So we had to figure out how to do 2 shows a week while me doing all of that. And I was constantly, so like that was 5 years, man. That's a long time to build something up and try and get to a schedule and like a lifestyle that we really want. And luckily, like the way you listeners listening to it right now, everyone's really, warmed up to the show and everyone loves it. And we're putting out videos every single week now. Our YouTube fucking page is the most busiest page at Barstool. Our YouTube page, Jake and Brendan are cranking out videos non-stop. Go look at our uploads. It's insane. We don't put up a video less than a fucking hour long. It's crazy. And it's every single day. This week we're putting out Bandon episode, which Brendan cranked out, and then right after that, so that's coming out on Tuesday, which
It'll
you've
be
already
out when
watched
you're
it.
listening to this.
And then tonight, when this podcast comes out, we've got the whole entire Disney fucking episode coming out of us going to Disney and experiencing that and the whole vlog, and that was just turned around within a couple days. So it's nonstop. And we want Lurch on the bandwagon. We want him on the train that's going 10,000 miles an hour, because this is a new year too. 2022 is going to be the biggest year of foreplay yet. We want Lurch on the train with us, and whenever he can make it, and I hope he can make it more. That's me being honest. I want Lurch to be here on the show more because I like having him around. Maybe I'm growing a heart. Maybe the Grinch is growing a heart a little bit. I like having Lurch around. I like calling him a piece of shit to his face. I enjoy that. That's a good little back and forth that we have.
That's a fun relationship to have. Honestly.
It's an amazing relationship we have. And if you don't think that me and Lurch are like actually buddies, like I like it. You should have seen us walking around fucking like Florida, like the way that he's just a good guy.
Yeah.
Like he's just a good guy to be around. I hate
He's
him on the
very
podcast.
good person.
He's a great guy.
He has a big heart. I think overall this was an extremely positive behind his back shit talking about Lurch.
I agree.
Yeah, and we're never gonna do it to him because he'll just go whatever and just kind of wave us off. So it has to be
There you
done
go.
behind his back.
Get a little negative. I want to hear a little negative.
And
There you
the
go.
people deserve to know because they listen to every goddamn show and they want to know. I mean, when I listen to podcasts and I watch shows, I want to know when like one of the characters aren't showing up. Like
Yeah.
he's a fucking character on a show. That's who he is. He's Ben Lurch Severance, and he's the 4th mic on Foreplay Podcast, the #1 golf podcast on the planet. And when he doesn't show up, people are like, "Where is he?" So we are answering your questions. We don't know where he is today.
He also fights a tough life because, and as he said to us, he like runs and manages the sales team that if they look and see or feel like he's out just frolicking around playing golf on a fucking Tuesday, then they're like, well, how am I supposed to work hard for you? Meanwhile, he's like balancing 2 different jobs. So I couldn't agree with you more. I think that he deserves a ton of credit, and I know that our listeners are invested. That's why Lurch isn't here today and why he misses a lot of shows. He's out there grinding and working really hard. I'm going to do another ad read, and then we'll throw it to the interviews. You guys okay with that?
I'm good with that.
Speaking of grinding and working hard.
What were you going to say, Jake?
Well, I thought he was going to go into a Roman ad read, so I was going to say, speaking of grinding and going hard.
There you go.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Hard, baby. They'll keep you hard.
Keep it hard.
You gotta.
Most guys have tried different ways to last longer, thinking about
Frankie licking
Lurch.
Trent's tits.
Woo!
Okay, might get you hard. Who knows?
I can't believe that's how you started the podcast, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's on his phone.
Frankie's on his phone.
What'd you say? Sorry, I got a funny text, so I looked at it and laughed, and I didn't hear what you said.
He said he
I said,
can't believe that's how you started the show.
podcast.
Oh, well, it's the worst way that anyone's ever started a show ever. So yeah, I can't believe it either.
I think it's great.
The folks at Roman, an online men's health company, are changing the game with Roman Swipes. Roman Swipes are a clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They're effective, easy to use, fast acting. They don't require a prescription. Roman can ship swipes to you in discreet, unmarked packaging. Each swipes packet small enough, you hide it right in your wallet there. Whenever you need it, you pop them out. Boom, you're good to go. Go to getroman.com/4. You get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. That is getroman.com/4. getroman.com/4. We got 2 big guests, Leona Maguire, Kira Dixon. They're both great. They're both quite different, and they're both obviously super involved in golf industry. Will be around for a very long time, so enjoy these 2 interviews. All right, folks, we're joined for the very first time. We got Leona Maguire, who I have to say you were a serious problem for the United States of America in the Solheim Cup. Dominant performance. How did that feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of the best weeks of my life. You picture how these things go, you dream about how these things go, but that was something out of a movie or a TV show. Not what I expected at all, but a lot of fun to be there.
And you've got some history. I believe you and your sister with the Ryder Cup when you guys were how old?
We're about 11 or 12, I think. Yeah,
11 years old. So
yeah.
you've been like dreaming of team golf forever.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think growing up as a twin, you're almost like a little mini team in yourself, and then playing junior Ryder Cups, junior Solheim Cups, you get that taste of, you get to watch after you're done, and you go around watching like the big teams and sneaking under the ropes and seeing them hit shots and hold those putts, and yeah, you dream about being there one day, and nice that it actually happened.
We've had a lot of discussions on this show about team golf and European team golf versus American team golf. Do you think the way you guys kind of play over in the UK, over in Europe, gives you a little bit of an advantage when it comes to team golf?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
The carts are not quiet around here. We're on a golf course, everybody.
That's a big question, I guess. We grew up playing a lot of match play and a lot of team golf. I guess the fact that we're in our own countries, European team championships were always a big one every summer for us, and home internationals where we play like England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and play against each other, and Curtis Cups and all that sort of stuff. So we're definitely very used to playing match play and team golf, and I think we enjoy it as well. We enjoy playing foursomes, the strategy that goes along with it, and yeah, I think we probably have that passion and stuff that comes to those sort of weeks. People
need to embrace that more over here. It's like, because we film a lot of videos, put up videos, and everyone's like, what exactly did you shoot? You guys are picking up here. And we're like, well, we're playing team. Like, we're playing 2-on-2. We're playing best ball.
We like the strategy, too. Like, sometimes I'll putt, and maybe I'll give my partner the read, and he'll say, oh, no, Frankie, you're good. And, yeah, I may have missed that, and my score won't reflect that miss, make, or whatever. But match play for us is so much more fun than me just going out there and trying to put a burden on my scorecard. And
that's a little personality to the game of golf.
Yeah, it does.
Which is
fun. I mean, it's different. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you shoot. You just need to be better than whoever you're playing with. And that there is a little strategy that goes to it. There was a couple of times during Solheim where I was surprised that the Americans, especially that Cup Show Salas match, that they let me putt on, I think it was the 12th, that I was shocked they let me putt, and then I gave Mel the line and she held the putt, and I felt like that was massive in the entire match. And there's just a few things like that over years of playing match play and team golf, you pick up as you go along. You can't necessarily teach.
When you're standing over that, are you like, I can't believe they're letting me do it?
You like rushing the putt?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I probably didn't think of it quite at the time, but in hindsight, definitely was surprised they made me pick it up, or didn't make me pick it up. And even, I mean, that first match against me and Georgia, we were playing 4 balls against, was it Brittany and You Let Me Know? And Beanie walked over and told Georgia to tell me to pick up my pup as I was going to give Brittany the line. And there's just little things like that may not matter, but why take the chance?
It is totally different too, because you go from playing the course to the mentality of playing against them, and it's just a different approach to go about it. You know, if they're on the tee, and we saw this at the Sony, Henley put it in the bunker, and then Matsuyama, you know, pulled back and hit something more that he could know that he get in the fairway and go full 3-wood, because it switched from, you know, playing the course to just a match play versus him, and how do I ensure that I beat him? So
yeah, I mean, and momentum is huge.
Right.
You just need to hit that one shot at the right time. If it's a putt, if it's a drive to put, you hit the fairway, and all of a sudden that fairway just becomes that little bit more narrow. Those bunkers get a little bit bigger. So yeah, it's all about hitting those shots at the right time.
You look like you enjoy twisting the knife a little bit and wrenching it down.
Yeah, I mean,
shrugs her shoulders.
It's one of those things. It's nice for me knowing that we came out on the right side of it, but, you know, just as easy the next match. Golf's a humbling game, so we can turn around pretty quickly.
Isn't momentum an amazing thing? It's just an invisible, like, not real thing that's incredibly real. And
yeah, I mean, you can't quantify it at all. And I mean, our entire team said that half point that me and Mel got that Sunday afternoon, it was a half point. It was only a half point, but it felt like about 3 points in the grand scheme of it, and that was because of momentum, and it changed the energy that evening and kind of gave us that little bit of extra burst that we needed heading into the singles.
How does it fire you up playing in front of like a hostile crowd that's rooting against you?
I mean, I'm pretty easygoing. I didn't really engage too much with the crowd, I guess. I think Mel maybe got a little bit more of the crowd than I did. She also probably got a little bit more heckling than I did. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing I'd ever experienced before. Having people cheer when you missed a putt, not knowing, I guess, the way the greens were at Inverness, there was a lot of raised greens, so we didn't know where the ball had finished. So you knew if the crowd clapped, it was either a really, really good shot that they had to clap, or the ball had just trickled over the edge of the green. There was no in between. So
they're like forced into it. They're like,
we had like 3 or 4 Europeans around every green that you'd hit your shot and you'd look towards them for the reaction of that thumbs up, whether it was good or not.
That was a really fun course to watch.
I mean, it was an incredible golf course. We said it at the time, it's a US Open venue, and it's nice that we're going back there in a few years.
Yeah. So you have been over in the States for a while. I believe you had the number 1 ranked amateur for the longest period of time ever. How do you kind of work to, you know, translate that? Is there a lot of pressure that comes with trying to translate that to the professional game?
Yeah, I mean, I think I suppose when I was in college, I was probably a big fish in quite a small pond, and then you turn pro and nobody really cares. You wipe the slate clean again. You're a small fish in a very big pond, so lots of new things to figure out. Obviously, college, you're in that team environment all the time. You've your coaches, your teammates, everything's done for you. You know exactly where you need to be when you need to be, and then you turn pro and you got to figure it out. You got to do everything for yourself. So a little bit of adjustment and lots more travel, lots more events, but sort of used 2020 to figure that out, and I felt a bit more comfortable last year.
How do you like the pro life?
It's good. I mean, it's the best office in the world. It changes every week, but it sure beats any 9 to 5 that I can think of.
Are you like scheduling all your own? Do you have somebody, a team that kind of handles your hotels and your bookings? Do you like to book them? Like, how do you handle finding places to eat on the road? How do you handle that whole side of it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky that my twin sister works for my management company, so she's very organized with everything. So she books all my travel, accommodation.
Amazing.
Replies to a lot of my emails before I even see them in my inbox, which is nice. By the way, I did this. I'll see the confirmations pinging on my hotels or whatever it is. So yeah, she looks after pretty much all of that. So makes my life a lot easier.
She played for a while, a little bit, right?
She played in college at Duke with me as well.
Okay.
Played professionally for a few years, and then she's gone back to dental school, so she's 2 years in that. So that's quite a change of pace. But
yeah.
It's nice that she's still sort of working part-time at my management company and came out this summer for a few events. And yeah,
I think that helped you, growing up, having that competition all those years. And
oh yeah, 100%. I mean, we competed at everything. It didn't matter if it was something in the back garden or board games or cards or golf. I mean, when we were younger, you'd go to an event and I'd come off the course. I didn't care what was leading. I just want to know what she shot to see if I beat her or not.
I love that.
We brought each other on without even realizing that. She beat me one day. She was better when we were younger. She was bigger, taller, stronger. She hit it further. So I was all the time trying to just catch up with her, beat her. And that brought us on without realizing it. And also had like a buddy to go out on the course all the time, play little matches against, whatever. You're never sort of by yourself.
We reference this movie all the time, but it's the King Richard with Venus and Serena Williams, and how they both kind of just pushed each other to the finish line. Well, obviously one person gets there more than the other person or whatever, but it's amazing how much that helps, obviously, the growth of your just competitive spirit, and you can see it when it comes down to team play and everything.
Yeah, I think that, they definitely transfer over to that match play, that team sort of thing, and it's something that I haven't noticed I did. People have commented when I came over to America, I always talk in we a lot, because it was always we did this, we did that. I don't say I a lot, because it was never about me. It was sort of our parents was like, either one of you, both of you doing it, or that's it. It's you look after each other. I mean, I remember one of the first sort of bigger events we went to. Lisa won. She got this really nice Adidas pink jacket. And Dad went in the pro shop and got me one as well, because he was like, it doesn't matter who won, we both put the same effort. I don't want any fights on the way home. We're both getting the same.
Making it easier for himself.
It was.
You two in the backseat bickering.
We were in finals together growing up. Some she won, some I won. It was always a quiet ride home in the car, but we usually patched up pretty quickly.
When did you know that this was going to be your life? Like, when did you know you were going to be able to take that leap? And it's obviously different coming from the UK to the States. Everything's really based here. A lot of like the things that you're gonna have to do. We went to Duke, right? So that's all, not risky, but it's it's a big leap for you to come over and do all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we'd played a few times over in the States, Junior Ryder Cup, Junior Solheim Cup, and I mean, we got whitewashed in both of those. I'm pretty sure the Americans were a lot stronger than us. Curtis Cup was a little bit closer in 2010, and bit by bit the college coaches come over to a few events during the summer. They used to go to British Girls and sometimes the Europeans and stuff, so we knew what the college thing was, didn't really know what was involved, just knew that the coaches were always there in their matching gear and they always looked cool and fancy, and it seemed like a cool thing to do. But we went to the USAM in Charleston in 2013, and it was pretty clear that the best players there were either in college or going to college, and it was kind of, in Ireland if you go to college, it's so specific. There's no college sports like there is over here. You either pick your job or you go down the sports route. There's no kind of both. So we knew if we wanted to sort of pursue both, get a good education and have a chance of going professional, America was the way to go. And lucky that Duke was one of the options.
So first event of the year, is your hype level incredibly high?
Yeah, I mean, ready to go. It's one of those things where last season seemed like it was almost like a 2-year season, and then you get 2 months off and it seems like a long time, but it comes back around pretty quickly. So nice to start off with 2 in Florida. Would be even nicer if I was getting to play the tournament champions here at Nona. But I guess watching the girls this week will be making me a little jealous, and sort of try and make sure I'm here next year.
Yeah, is it weird after 2 months off? Like because sometimes we're pretty bad at golf, right? So every time we'll take quite a few weeks off, months off, whatever it is. Sometimes we go out and we play like the best golf we've played in a long time, because you don't have any band-aids, you don't have any scar tissue in there. So like after a long period of time off, what's that like for you? Are the first couple swings like whoa, or is it pretty standard? You hit balls the whole time? Yeah,
I mean, I went home for 4 weeks, so it was a little chilly in Ireland. Did a lot of sort of inside and a simulator and stuff like that, so it's a little different getting out here swinging in a few less layers of clothes. But made a few tweaks to my clubs, so still trying to figure out that, nail down the yardages and stuff. There'll be a little bit of rust, but sort of ease ourselves back into it these first 2 weeks in Florida. I have 3 weeks off again, so it's like a mini start, and then hopefully be fully ready to go in Singapore and Thailand.
Do you watch much golf? Like, will you watch any of the golf this week?
I'll see. I have a few friends playing, so I might go give them a little bit of hassle. Maybe Sophia and Mel during the week, and Georgia and that, but I mean, I need to get ready myself for the week after, so I'll watch a little bit, but probably not a ton.
Live sports, baby. We talked about live sports a lot this week on Barstool Sports, but this past weekend was probably maybe the best sports, just football sports viewing weekend ever.
I would say ever. Yeah, I'm going. I don't think I'm going out. I don't think we're going out on a limb to say that. It's right up there with the best ever.
Yep.
Sling is the place where your favorite sports channels like ESPN, FS1, TNT, and much more come together for less. It's the cheapest way to watch Golf Channel all year long. We got amazing golf coming up. We got Torrey Pines this weekend. Torrey Pines is one of my favorite stops. It always feels like it launches the golf season. First 2 weeks, they're in like Hawaii. Like nothing's real in Hawaii. Then they go to the Amex, which even John Rahm was like this piece of shit course setup. Then they go to Torrey Pines. Golf tournament starts, or the golf season starts. This is when Tiger Woods, when he was healthy and he was the real Tiger Woods, would start every single year. So we got real golf playing coming up. Sling is the easiest way to set up, to get fired up, to get going with live sports. Easy to use. There's no contracts. Starting at just $35 a month. Sign up now. Try it absolutely free for 3 days. Whatever you're into, Sling is where you can find the live sports you love all in one place. Go to sling.com/barstool. Sign up and try it for free. Okay, you can literally try it for free. Go to sling.com/barstool right now. Sling.com/barstool.
You're on the backside of that range. Is that where you practice? We were laughing because we were watching a couple of the guys hitting some drives, and there's some of the drives make it to that other side of the.
Yeah, there was a few that were getting pretty close.
Today,
Yeah,
right?
we saw a celebrity.
Close.
We don't know who it was, but
We were with
he
our
was
bushels
pulling
trying
drives,
to,
and I was like, "Ooh,
trying
these
to
are
see
getting
who
a
it
little
was. We're
close."
like, is that one of the girls or is that one of the guys?
Dude,
but
he was coming close.
Yeah, you wouldn't have seen him because he was kind of, there was that kind of like hedge that separated, so
There
we
was a
could
guy
just
in
see on
like a
diagonal.
Pink
Yep.
shirt or
That was
pink,
him, right?
pink sweater.
Yeah, it might
They were
have
getting
been.
pretty close. You could hear it, like hear the thump just before.
What an
before us, yeah.
And
They
you
were
got to
missing
practice and hit balls in that. But yeah, the guy he like pulled 2 that way, and then he sprayed 2 way right. And then he started actually hitting it pretty good. And I was like, if he pulls another one over there, I mean, that's landing, got to be 15, 20 feet, it looked like, before.
Yeah, pretty close. Ah,
No,
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
If anyone's going to
Maybe.
hit it,
Who knows?
it's going to be a long drive
Yeah.
guy.
So when you're back there on the backside of the range, like what are you working on? How long are you there for? Like what was your routine today to try and just get some work in?
I was there from 9 a.m. this morning.
Till right
Till now?
Yeah.
And it's
So-
Hope you got a little lunch in there.
Yeah, lunch in between.
Okay.
But yeah, just grinding, just working on a lot of wedges. Did some testing this morning with Scott, the pin guy. We're figuring out my new irons and stuff like that. And yeah, just getting ready, I guess.
And when you're grinding, are you like just distances? You're like, all right, 60 yards, 62 yards, 64 yards, or what? What is that?
A bit of both. A few things with my swing, working on mechanics, and then sort of that technical side, and then yeah, totally target, just sort of dialing in those numbers, knowing exactly, so that when my caddy comes next week and he says it's 123 yards, that I'm able to hit that number and not guessing.
Wow.
You guys have a pretty good network here of golfers. I mean, I know a lot of the members that we were hearing the names of. It's a pretty good network here at Lake Nona, right?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons I joined, being able to have people to play with, playing those games. Even this week when here's closed, going over to some of the other courses like Bay Hill and Isleworth and Orange Tree in the area to get those games in, to just get sharp before we go. And yeah, I mean there's a lot of the guys are here, a lot of the girls are here, so I suppose that was something I missed in college. You had that sort of team around you, that there was always people to play with, and don't have my twin sister here anymore, so I needed to find people to sort of replace that and be able to sort of compete on those off weeks as well, some money games and
Who's
things
going to
like
fit
that.
the Wii? You got to fill up the Wii, I guess.
Yeah.
Got to get a Wii in there.
When you were at Duke, did you like watch any basketball games over there? Like was that
Yeah,
that a
I mean
big
we
part
used
of
to
your-
go to as many as we could. Never got to go to a Carolina game. That was always, we always somehow had an event then, but if there was any home games, we were there. We always went, and I mean Cameron's just a cool place.
Really cool.
It's small. The atmosphere was always really good, and yeah, I mean I went to as many sporting things as I could, but basketball was definitely sort of up there.
Totally.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I would love to go there. Never been.
well, for us, I mean, you guys, none of us really went to. Well, he went to Harvard, but
Yeah, but we didn't have even most of our sports
Those are
weren't that
cool
sweet.
Finished with
There were a
nothing.
couple years though when like Harvard basketball was really good.
I'm saying like, going to a college where like the pinnacle of that sport, like Duke is basketball,
Oh, yeah.
the best
Yeah.
of the best. So when you go into that game, you're seeing what everyone on TV is watching. Also,
Yeah.
like that's got to be really cool.
Fencing, I think our fencing team's really good.
Iowa wrestling, pretty damn good. I don't know
Pretty
if you've heard
good.
of it.
I remember talking to one of our trainers, and I was like, because our sports programs were really bad. I was like, what do you think, like, the win percentage here of just all our programs here at St. A's while I was there? And he was like, 20%. I mean, it was terrible. Our lacrosse team, we were like one of the better ones, and we were just maybe a game over 500, something like that every time. And we were like a good program. Everybody else 0-23.
Yeah,
just
tough.
terrible.
How many golf balls do you think you hit today?
Don't know. A few hundred, I guess.
Which is insane because I've been posting a lot more practices on my Instagram, like just to try.
You're
and show
tired
people.
out. You can't do it anymore.
Dude. I probably did about 400 swings in 1 week. 1 week.
1 week. She did that today.
I
She's
couldn't do
chuckling
it
at
anymore.
you.
I couldn't swing anymore. By the 4th day, we went to a simulator and tried to play 9 holes, me and my buddy. And I was like, man, by the 7th hole, I couldn't do it anymore. My shoulders were creaking. Every time I took my club back, my wrist would crack. It's amazing how many swings you can get in. Like
I mean,
pros.
I hit a lot of wedges too. I don't probably
Okay.
hit as many like full shots. For me, if I'm working some of my swing, like I'll do it with the wedges, and then it generally transfers over, which is pretty nice. So I'll not hit a radical amount of drivers unless I'm working on something specific with that. But it's a lot of wedges and a lot of short irons.
If you have a wedge in your hand, say from like 123 and you're grinding, like what's an acceptable distance that it lands at where you're like, I feel good?
Within a yard or two.
Within a yard or two?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you've got a 72-yard shot, that thing's going to land really close to the hole.
Yeah. That's where it has to. I mean, inside 100 yards, it kind of has to be dialed in. And that's something I've noticed, like out here. I mean, accuracy is key. The best players, Jin Young, Nelly, Lydia. I mean, you put a wedge in their hand and it doesn't miss. It's all over the flag every time. They hole out more times than they miss a green or outside 20 feet probably.
Yeah.
What are you actually working on to get in your distances? Is it like when I take it this far back and put this much force into it, it goes this far, and it's all just mentally trying to remember that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I do it by distance, also where I grip on the club, but it's repetition. Wow. I mean, doing it again and again and again, and it's your body, and you just remember
the grip got you going.
Grip has me thinking these days, but she's talking about gripping down for
up and down
longer. Yeah, because I literally just have like kind of a 60-yard shot. Yeah, somebody told me to strengthen my grip one time, so I just gripped the hell out of the club.
He just squeezed the club really hard.
Oh no, that's only for fairway bunker shots. For fairway bunker shots, if you grip it as hard as you can,
it helps.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
Why?
You won't like chunk it?
It gets the contact so much better.
Really?
Huh.
Try it.
I've never heard that one.
The big thing that I learned about fairway bunkers is to not dig your feet in. I think JT was like, if I see somebody dig their feet on a fairway bunker, it's like you're an idiot because you're really just trying to thin it out of there.
Yeah, no, if you grip it as tight as you can.
All right, well then there we go. Strengthen my grip, then
I'm
bunker.
gonna squeeze that thing so hard.
Oh, I'm gonna break the grip. Yeah, we're not a great bunch of golfers here.
We like the game. We're just not very good.
Great game.
Love
Very
the
fun.
game more than anything.
Sometimes I hate it.
So you got grinding this week, and then 2 weeks on, then 3 weeks off, and then go time.
Yeah, and then we're pretty much go to Asia. Haven't been to Singapore and Thailand before, so that'll be new.
Ooh. You excited for that?
Yeah, I mean, new places, new countries. Hopefully we'll be able to do something when we're there. I like Thai food, so hopefully
Your sister respond to all emails? You got it booked up?
I think so. Good to go, hopefully.
Do you do any preparation for like the different types of grasses and like styles of the course, or are you just going to kind of attack it when you get there?
I mean, I haven't been there before. Usually
Right.
the Asian grass are a little bit thicker. I mean, Japan was. So I'll figure that it's more the heat. I mean, I think Thailand's going to be really hot and humid, so not like Ireland at all. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of preparation for that. I did a bit of like sauna work and stuff for Japan last year for the Olympics, so I might do
What
a
does
little
that
bit.
entail? You just wear a full getup in the sauna and then
Pretty
go
much,
play?
yeah. Sit in
That's
there for, like,
amazing.
That's awesome.
Sweat tons, yeah.
In your gear? No way.
Phenomenal.
Do you bring your clubs in there too so the grips feel the same?
No, I probably could add that in, I guess.
That's insane.
No, I mean, our Olympic team for the Olympics, we
Phenomenal.
did that. They had bikes in there in the heat chambers and stuff like that, yeah. So the other teams were doing it, so I figured
Let's do
Can
it.
you please send us like a picture or something?
That'd be the funniest.
all-time.
of me the color of your hoodie. Sweating it out.
Just gearing up for the Asian swing.
Just about, tea times in 30 minutes. Just going to sit here, sweat it all out, come out, just, whoa, here we go.
Man.
That's an amazing way to train. Well, there you
We do
go.
a ton of traveling, and we like to hit different golf courses, and we're going to start going international with our series.
You might see us start to
Series?
train like we're going to Thailand.
Well, yeah,
with the
that
four of
bit.
us going to sauna for
Is
half
Ireland a
hour.
place that we should really be putting on our list
yeah.
for
Oh,
golf?
100%. Have you guys never been?
No.
Never been.
Oh, I mean, we're spoiled over there. There's so many good options. You can just literally take it all around the coast and
Yeah.
There's so many.
I heard
there.
Ireland is just the most fun people ever.
How would
too.
you explain the style of golf there? Is it? I mean,
It's a real mix. You have parkland courses like you get here, and then you've obviously links, which is quite a bit
Yeah.
different. Get 4 seasons in one day. But there's obviously all the famous ones like Ballybunion and Portrush and Kenny Down and all them, but there's also a lot that are really good too that just aren't famous or off the
Right.
beaten track a little bit. So
I'm gonna have to add to the list.
I think we would thrive in Ireland.
I'm 50%
Totally.
Irish, so
I'm Irish. I don't know how
everybody's got a
much.
little bit of Irish in them. it
Yeah.
seems like. Deep down.
That's right. You ever got to do that?
like you're actually Irish, and then when I say I'm 50% Irish, does that almost like offend you? Because like my parents were both born here too, so like their parents were born in Ireland. But, like I'm not Irish.
It seems. I guess it's flattering that people want to be
Okay.
Irish.
There you
but
go.
we're not. You know what
But
I mean?
it seems like everybody over here has some sort of percentage of Irish
Something.
in them.
And they let you know, right?
Especially when McGregor fights.
McGregor fights, or like it's St. Patty's Day, and we're
Yeah.
all wearing green.
That's
and
where it comes out.
kissing each other at bars, and
Oh boy.
I'm saying it's like the
Irish?
whole thing. Yeah, kiss me, I'm Irish. Come on, Lurch, keep up.
No. I mean, I didn't think like. if
I
you
want
were
to go
trying
though. I love the
kiss each
culture.
other-
I love the food. I love everything about it. Speaking of the food, didn't you have? Wasn't that an Irish?
Why'd you
meal?
look at him when you thought about food?
Wasn't
Bangers
that-
and mash? Is that Irish?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had
This
some.
guy ate that before a flight, and it was a
Sausages
problem.
and potatoes.
Yeah.
5-hour flight.
I ate it before a red-eye flight from
Oh.
Arizona to New York, and it was a
Oh.
bad idea, but it was a
Oh.
delicious meal. I will
Live
say.
to tell the tale.
Everyone on the plane lived as well.
Barely.
So good.
Barely.
It's
They were-
the kindest of all time. I just
Battle to
shared it.
breathe on that flight.
I gotta get there.
Ireland?
Yeah,
You're 50% Irish.
yeah. I actually thought about getting married there. I wanted to go there
Oh,
and
boy.
have a destination.
Ryder
wedding.
Cup's there in 2027.
Oh.
Their Manor. Should be
All
really
right.
good.
Is that place cool? Looks
Yeah,
unreal.
I haven't been there, but it's as close to Augusta apparently.
Yeah, it
as-
looks magnificent.
What?
Yeah, it's like pristine. They've got the sub air. It's perfect.
Dude, they have like a castle as their clubhouse too.
Well, immediate Google for this one. What's the name?
Adair Manor.
Adair Manor.
Okay.
What is it? ADARE?
Yeah.
Manor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
in
if you're-
Limerick. You fly into Shannon.
Shannon?
Yeah. That's a clubhouse.
What do you think, Frank?
Is that suitable for you, being 50% Irish?
I mean, that's.
You like what your fellow countrymen and women came up with
Look at
there?
that clubhouse in there.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, I
In
mean,
that one image, it looks like, yeah, I'd go there.
I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
That looks insane.
Billion people live in that
Doesn't-
clubhouse?
yeah, that
doesn't
place
feel
looks,
like it's Irish,
looks
so.
fantastic. All right.
Cool.
This was great.
Well, we'll be rooting for you this year. We appreciate you
You.
taking the time. First time having you on the show.
Nice to meet you
You've
all.
got 4 new fans now.
That's right.
He
And
hated you prior.
yeah, right.
Converted. You can only hate me every 2 years.
So you got that fire. I like it.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. Good luck this year, and yeah, you got some new fans here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
That was easy.
That's fun. Barstool Wood. Okay, all the new stuff. We got shampoo, conditioner, body wash, shaving cream, which I put on my head because I'm a bald person when I shave my head. How good is the Barstool Wood stuff?
I love it. I have it in my shower right now. I use the body wash every day. I mentioned on the last podcast how I sometimes use a shampoo, sometimes I don't. I've got that hair length where I can run water over and it's mostly fine. But the body wash I need. I need to lather that
Why'd
stuff
you
all
laugh
over
there,
my
Frank?
body.
Why'd you laugh there, Frank?
I just took a look at those hair follicles.
It's just like every morning I'm in the shower and I make a decision. Is it a shampoo day or is it not?
You used to have more hair. I have some pictures of you from when we first started. You had more hair.
Yeah, early on, I would
Oh no, you had less hair, right?
a little bit of both. But I would get haircuts less frequently.
How could
Right
it
now,
be
I'm
both?
getting
How
I
could it
get a
be
haircut
both?
once a week.
How
I get
could
my
it be
haircut
both?
every
I
Sunday.
don't know if it was both.
You used to
trying to
have
remember.
more and
No,
less
you used
hair?
to not have a goatee. That was
Same
what
time?
it was.
Well, that was
I have a couple pictures of Trent when he first moved here in New York, and it's jarring.
that was actually
Oh, yeah.
there's a
I
couple
saw that picture.
Dude, there's
We were in
also a
Orlando, I saw
video
that picture.
you and I that I was thinking about when you sent me that picture, Frankie. Riggs, you and I, we went to Chelsea Piers when we announced that we were going to the long drive contest, and it was that same week when I was on
man.
the early iteration of the Dave Portnoy show. And I look at it and I just have no facial hair and I look psychotic.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we're not talking
People
about
with
it
no
anymore.
facial hair are insane.
It doesn't work for me. It works for some people. Wood is the
what
best
you're
stuff on the market though. You can get
I didn't
all of
have
it.
any. I didn't have any then either, Trent. You and I looked like
Same, dude.
pathetically different.
It
Frankie.
takes real maturity to realize how much better you look with facial hair. Even just a little bit. Like
I agree.
Just a little. Like Frankie's just got like a little bit going on right now.
I've been sarcastic this whole time. I obviously have no facial hair.
You got a little bit there.
It's like a 5 o'clock shadow thing. I have a neared now. That's all. The only thing I grow.
Well, and if you let it go any further, we all saw that during the playoff run a couple years ago.
It's bad.
Gross.
What is amazing?
Justin Thomas
It
chirped
is.
you for that.
And it's
Justin
good.
Thomas chirped you for that.
And he did. And it's incredibly affordable. It's all $15 or less. You can get it at CVS or you can get it at store.barstoolsports.com. Get this stuff. It's a new venture for Barstool Sports. But like everything else, we're going to do it the right way. Again, I have it in my shower.
Good packaging. At the end of the day, like it's
Simple
all about
packaging.
what it looks like in your shower, and as long as it's a good product, right? Like,
Yeah.
For me, you could put anything in all these different bottles. I wouldn't know when I'm at the store and I'm actively looking for a bottle. To be honest, the bottle has a lot to do with it, and I think the packaging and the way that it looks, just it's attractive to me, and I like having it in my shower. It just looks cool. It looks good. It looks like it's refreshing. It looks like it's going to clean me. It looks like I'm going to smell really good, and it does, and it's a really good product, and I'm very, very proud of the people at Barstool Sports that have pulled this off, because it's a whole new venture now that we're going into. We're just going into like just body products, and that's insane. There's no jokes behind it. There's no nothing. It's just fucking real.
Shop wood at getwood.com or at your local CVS. We like CVS. Getwood.com. Again, a lot of talented folks worked on this, came up with the best stuff, and you can shop it. Go to getwood.com and go check it out. All right, we have flipped the microphones. You're on the other side of the microphone now. Kira Dixon.
Hi.
Are you like nervous in front of us?
Yeah, when you put it that way, then yeah, a little bit.
Well, I
We've
will
been
just
doing
say-
the thing with all the guests during this week where we have separated them from the group, which makes it feel a little more intimidating for
A
the
little
guests.
bit.
It's like the three of you are over there, very comfortable. You've been doing this all day. I
Yeah.
roll in all of a sudden. No,
I like
Practice.
that.
The range.
Yeah,
a
it
little
feels.
separated.
I like
It's
that.
fine. It's good.
We were just talking about vases, and I was going to say I don't think I own any vases.
You said you own a bunch.
I own like 10.
I was going to
10?
ask double digits. That's a lot of vases.
Well, flowers are beautiful and they make people happy.
Do you have them like
fair.
full of flowers all the time?
Well, no, I'm actually renovating my house right now, so I've got all my vases are packed away. But generally, I do love a good,
How's that going? Are you? I'm trying to renovate a place right now too. And I
Don't do it.
It's
just
just a
buy one
nightmare?
that's good.
Okay. Wow. That's too late.
So just take it back.
Is your place just?
Especially nowadays with how hard it is to get things.
Yeah. We just figured out that we ordered the wrong refrigerator that we waited 6 months for, so now we have to wait another 6 months for another
Oh.
refrigerator. But
Oh,
it's-
man.
Do you have a functional refrigerator right now?
Yeah, but it
That's
doesn't
good.
fit in the space, so it's gonna be fine.
Does that give you like anxiety? It
It's so
doesn't
much
fit in the
anxiety.
space. I can tell.
We can't go down this road, guys. I'm sorry. It's
Incredible.
gonna mess me up.
Absolutely incredible. So I want to talk a little bit about your kind of trajectory because I feel like
Oh gosh.
you really went. I mean, the first time I think I really saw you was the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, which is what 4 or 5 years ago, maybe was the first time that I saw you playing
played
that.
was 4 years ago. This will be my 4th year.
And then it was like you're kind of in school, you're kind of playing in those types of tournaments, and then all of a sudden you were kind of conducting like post-round interviews on Golf Channel, and you're on golf coverage all the time, which is really, really cool.
Thank you.
How was that? Does it feel like crazy to you that all of a sudden that's happened in the last, I don't know, couple of years?
Yeah, I think that golf is crazy in general. That like I get to do that job, and then I also this week get to play with some of the best players in the world. Like you don't have the basketball announcers like dribbling down the,
Right.
the court. Like I'm
Playing a little
open.
3-on-3.
Yeah, like that doesn't happen. So just the fact that golf creates those types of opportunities in life is what I love about the sport. But I mean, I grew up playing golf with my dad. It was I played very serious junior golf and then quit in high school because golf was stupid,
Okay.
Yeah.
which
Totally.
looking back is stupid.
Couldn't agree
like
more.
it wasn't cool. People were mean to me about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to be a cheerleader instead, which really got a lot out of that.
You didn't want to be
for-
like the nerd playing golf.
Yeah, exactly. So I obviously regret that, but I came back to the sport when I was Miss America. I got asked to play in a Pro-Am on the Golf Channel, and I was like, oh, the Golf Channel, this is cool. And they interviewed me, and I kept doing golf stuff. I kept getting golf opportunities. After I was done being Miss America, I kept hosting Pro-Ams. I kept doing one-off deals. I kept growing in it. And then Miss America is the largest provider of scholarships to women in the world, still to this day. I had all the scholarship money that I was going to use on law school. Decided not to go to law school. I went to USC instead, got my master's in journalism, got a phone call from the Golf Channel.
Wow.
Wow.
And now, if you do well on the golf course, in the golf world, you get to chat with me afterwards and tell me all about it. So it's part of the prize
super
package.
impressive stuff you just rattled off.
Right.
You know?
Far more
If you
impressive
asked
than
about the trajectory. That's how. That's the spark notes.
That was awesome. That was what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Just being able to throw in, and then I was Miss America in the middle of any sort of story is an amazing,
good.
amazing thing to
It's a
drop
good
down.
conversation
It is.
starter.
How does
There's
that
so many women in
how's that-
America.
what an amazing
Yeah.
title
Miss
that is.
America.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is that your like most proud achievement?
I mean, it's something that will always be a part of me and define me. I hope to have many other
Yeah.
big, amazing things happen, but it certainly changed my life. Like, I had paid a deposit to go to law school, and then I got exposed to, like, I was giving awards at the billboards to One Direction and like introducing Pitbull, and on the my first carpet ever, I turned around and there's Heidi Klum walking down next to me.
Wow.
And just like, you know, you get exposed to this entire life that you never even knew existed, and the idea of going to law school got put
I mean,
by the
credit to you.
wayside pretty quickly.
Credit to you for pivoting, like seeing that and being like, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to get my
Thanks,
master's
guys.
from USC. That's incredible.
Yeah.
How'd you get into the whole world of Miss America? How'd that start?
There's a little movie called Miss Congeniality.
Love
Okay.
it.
Came out when I was 12 years old. I was obsessed with Sandra Bullock. I wanted to be Sandra Bullock so badly. Like, she was still is everything to me. And we got a flyer in the mail for like a local little pageant. I begged my mom to let me do it. My parents were like, "What? Like a pageant? Like, no. Like, why would we do that?" Like, we got a dress off of eBay. I looked probably ridiculous, but we went and I won the first one I ever did. And it's like, you know, the golf bug bites you. It's like that kind of bit me. But we did it once a year as like just a fun thing. You know, my mom always made sure to say, you know, like, we're never going to do Miss America. Yeah, it's just not something that we're going to do. That's like a whole different thing. Like, okay, great. So it was just like a hobby. And then because of the scholarship money, I wanted to pay for school, ended up just, you know, let's see what we can do. I went to school in New York, and I competed in New York, was Miss New York, and I was like, great, I'll just be Miss New York. It'll be fantastic. You know,
I'll just be Miss New York. No problem.
It's wonderful. And yeah, then you know the rest. So
Wow. Amazing.
Was the like incredibly demanding? Like, people stereotype it?
yeah, absolutely. But it's the job itself it's 365 days. They pretty much own you for a year. 20,000 miles a month. You're in a different city every 2 days. You're the National Goodwill Ambassador for Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. I went around the world with the USO, went to Afghanistan, Bahrain, South Korea, the DMZ.
Being the president.
Yeah, I got to meet Michelle. I didn't get to meet Obama, but yeah.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, you're it's like when
You're
they
on
say you
tour.
become president, the next day your life changes completely.
Yeah,
and all of a
completely,
sudden
overnight.
You're brought in behind all these closed doors, and you have to go to all these places. That's exactly what Miss America sounds like.
And you get asked to play in golf tournaments.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's like Hunger Games. Like, you just walk through, and then all of a sudden you're just this symbol for like the entire country. That's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's really cool.
It was wild. Like, I look back and I'm like, did I really do that?
Yeah.
Like, that's psycho, first of all, that I would decide to do that. But it was amazing, and I learned a ton, have a much thicker skin because of it.
Sure.
Really thankful for it. I have amazing friends. There were 25 girls that I competed with that came to my wedding.
Wow.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like everybody from Georgia to Colorado to pretty much our state in between.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
What a world.
Okay, so then you're in, journalism. You're studying journalism.
Yeah.
You get a call, or what happened with Golf Channel and becoming?
How
a
did
big
this
part of the
happen? You
golf
want
coverage?
more
Yeah, just a little bit more
details of how this happens? Okay,
I feel like this stuff just keeps happening to you, or all of a sudden it changes your life.
Yes. Okay. So, have you ever had that feeling when, like, you're going along something and it's not exactly happening the way you want? It's not exactly happening the way you want. You start to doubt
All the time.
and like, maybe I'm gonna
Every day.
start thinking about something else.
Yeah.
So I have that feeling about 2 years post Miss America. Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, am I just gonna host pro-ams for forever? Like, what am I doing? Like, I really wanted to start getting into like legit reporting, but you have to have experience and like, more things than just having been Miss America to get to be a reporter. I got a phone call one day completely randomly from the USGA. They needed somebody to host their digital coverage. I'd been doing some digital stuff, and they took a complete like risk on me, and they're like, yeah, like, you were Miss America, the United States Golf Association seems to go well together, like, let's figure this out. I worked Shinnecock was my first US Open with them, and it was like a life-changing, like, okay, I want to do this type of thing.
Yeah.
And the USGA gave me the experience and the time to grow as a personality, as a reporter. They let me make mistakes. They let me try stuff out. They let me do pretty much whatever I wanted. I'm sure you guys have had a lot of great opportunities with the USGA. You've gotten to do some.
Love the USGA.
Shinnecock was our first US
First
Open.
time.
We
basically
So we go way back.
same trajectory. We were like, what are we doing here? I can't believe they allowed us to be here.
They let our boss try and win the U.S. Open with unlimited mulligans.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember that was a whole conversation.
They are very open to things like that. Like you're saying, they give you chances to do whatever you want, try new stuff.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't, like from the outside looking in, you wouldn't think that was going to be an organization that would do that, but they actually are very open to it.
They are. I mean, it's about democratizing the game and
Right.
making it more accessible, more relatable to the masses, not just those that can qualify to compete at the U.S. Open. And because of what I was doing there, and I had done some one-off things with the Golf Channel, I just kept getting more opportunities with the Golf Channel. I hosted Golf Advisor for them, which is like a travel lifestyle show that which went away during COVID. But that was kind of like my entree into like the greater Golf Channel sphere. And then January of 2020, I got to do live reporting at the PGA show. That was my first time to really doing that, like someone's counting down in your ear, like, let's go, this is live TV. And then COVID happened. So for most of COVID, I started school. I was like, okay, whatever, like we'll see what happens. I still got my USGA stuff. Tried to not put too much pressure on it. And then end of 2020 in December, they called and said, hey, we have a reporter position. Do you want it? And I wanted it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Shout out to Craig Annis, by the way.
Yeah.
He's not there any longer at USGA, but he's our guy.
Craig was amazing for my career. He said yes to a lot of
He's amazing.
a lot of big stuff for me.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's cool for
do you get nervous?
Hell yeah. You kidding?
Yeah, what's live TV like? You know? Like that's
Like just
something
you mentioning it makes me like
Yeah, like we do live streams, but it's the least professional thing you could imagine.
We could say anything.
And it's
Yeah.
like there's no people aren't expecting like it to be professional.
Right.
The other side of that live TV, I would imagine, seems very intimidating.
So I've had a year in
Yeah.
the job now, so I've like calmed down. But in the beginning, I was like, okay, like something has to come out of my mouth.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So there, I'm sure were plenty of moments that I look back and I just cringe because like I was learning and like growing through it and figuring it out. But something always did come out of my mouth, so I'm thankful
You didn't
for
freeze
that.
up.
Yeah. So I've calmed down for sure. I just try and tell myself it's just a conversation, just like you and I are having right now. Like, I'm there because they like who I am. I don't have to try to be any of these other wonderful reporters. I need to just be Kira, and that's enough, and it's gonna be great. And whether that's true or not, I just have to believe it.
I think, Frankie, if we put you on live TV in a situation like that, I think I have this about myself as well. I would just freeze.
Yeah.
I don't think like you're saying words
No,
would come
you
out.
wouldn't freeze because it's life and death. You gotta say something.
No.
I might
I
just
die.
run away. I might just take off.
Life and death is right, and we die.
Fight or flight, and I'm flight.
You're flying.
I'm flight. I'm out of there.
I haven't died yet.
We've frozen up on this show and we've had to talk. I mean, there was one time where Riggs didn't show up to the beginning of the podcast, and it was us with Brian Baumgartner. I
Yeah.
can't say his fucking. I can never say the last.
I think
You got it.
Baumgartner.
Baumgartner, yeah. He's here this week.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
He's
we
one of
ran
our
into him
like
earlier.
pals
He's
at this
the
point. But in the
best, yeah.
beginning, like he just popped up and it was just Trent and I. And we just go. So
Yeah, we're not
what's going on? Like we didn't have our host. We didn't have like our
Your
live
anchor.
guy.
Yeah.
So we just didn't know what to do. And
What did he say to you guys? Like, wow.
he goes, "This show is like bizarre. this is a bizarre show."
Well, I
You
mean,
can always counter it to tell it how, like it is. I was like, how's your game doing, Brian? He goes, shitty.
well, I mean, he would never remember this, but if Tiger were to recount his meeting with us, he'd be like, "Those are the three weirdest dudes I've ever met in my life."
They just
No.
didn't know.
Frankie
it
didn't
was-
say anything. I
I
couldn't
tried
answer
to get
questions.
the word out. So what game? What are you gonna do tonight? What game do you like? Basketball? I couldn't say it.
He
I just
asked
couldn't
me-
say the words. I couldn't say it, and my throat closed.
Because you
up.
have one chance and he's going to walk away.
One chance
and you
forever.
Probably are never going to.
Just gone.
You never know. Yeah.
asked
Frankie
me-
waved at him when he left.
I did.
Yeah, he was probably
Frankie
like.
just went,
He asked me where are you guys stationed, and I just had no answer for him. I literally had nothing.
We were at
Looked at
Pebble
the sky,
Beach,
said,
so we had a radio station on the 18th green. Barstool Radio was there, so we had a presence. We also were talking to Tiger Woods on the putting green at Pebble Beach. So when Tiger Woods asks Trent, "Where are you guys stationed?" Like, what is the answer to that? Is it where is Barstool stationed? Like in New York? Is it
or
the
where do I
18th
live?
green?
Yeah.
Is it like where are we right now?
what hotel are
My
we
whole,
in?
I,
Where are you guys stationed? It's just way too vague.
My entire 30 years flashed right in front of me, and I had
There's
nothing.
a picture of him. He actually goes, duh.
There's pictures.
It's a
It's
meme.
on video. It's there's pictures. It's really super unfortunate. That
Well, I would rather that. It comes with a good story.
it is. It's one of the things I'll remember forever, but maybe not for the best reasons.
The Tigers Foundation gave me one of my first hosting gigs right after Miss America.
Okay.
TGR Foundation reached out to me on Twitter and asked for me to host Tiger Jam in Vegas. And my best friend came with me like as my date, and she knows nothing about golf, like zero. Like she maybe knows who Tiger Woods is. And I was up on stage doing something, and I look over, and who's sitting next to Tiger but my best friend Kelly, and she just was like, "Hey, look, it's that guy." It's like, yeah, that's one way to
the
call
guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Is it really difficult as things are concluding to like
What's
structure
concluding?
as
Our
plays
interview?
concluding? Sorry, as golf plays concluding, and you're about to do
I
post
was like,
round.
are you kicking me out?
You're done.
We're done here.
To like have structure and know who you're going to talk to and what exactly happened, because there's so many players finishing. They could bogey double the last, then they're not that interesting, or they're not the person you're going to talk to.
Yeah. So generally throughout the week, like you're, rarely does someone like completely come out of nowhere. Like if you're at least within the top 20 or something, we've either talked to you or I've looked up your stats or something or another. So throughout the day, like I'm tracking exactly what's happening. If it's coming down to like the wire, like a putt or something like that, like I've got stuff prepared. But this happened, I think at the CJ Cup, like I had stuff prepared for Ricky, because Ricky could have won that day. I had stuff prepared for Rory, and I think I forget who else it was, the third person. But I was like ready to go. Choose your own adventure, whichever one decided to win that day, and like then you go. You just like pick up that door number 2 and walk through it.
Is it always like? Is it an awkward interview when people when like they lose?
Yeah, it's the loser interview is not. It's I think it's a really important, strong moment for them, because it's super vulnerable, and for them to actually stand there and do it is, I think, amazing. It shows a great amount of strength, and just that's part of the sport. It's just part of being a professional athlete. So when they take the time to do it and stand there and give you good, thoughtful, long responses, I really appreciate that. But you really feel like, especially if it comes down to a playoff or one shot, like you just feel the energy, the disappointment, the sadness, like everything that comes with that. And you kind of just have to be there in that moment and not, make it worse, and somehow, foster this good moment, this nice conversation that, what's the positive that we can take from this?
What'd you
like,
really
spin it
learn
in
this
a positive
week?
way. Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you going to take from this? Like everything that, I know you didn't walk away from this with the win, but you had so many incredible moments. What's something that you're really going to lean on as you go into blah, blah next week?
So a lot of times somebody will win or finish a good round, whatever, and you'll have like 60 or 90 seconds only with them. The questions that you ask, do they have to get like approved by anybody?
No.
You whip up your own questions?
No, there's nobody that's like telling me that I have to ask them. And of course, depending on the situation, I work with amazing producers and people in the field that will be like, like if this happens, like this is really a storyline that like we're really passionate about, and we've been having those conversations all week. But when I get up there, like whatever comes out of my mouth is what comes out of my mouth, and it also depends on what they're giving back to you. Like, if they give you something and you're listening, you can follow up on that and be like, well, why did you decide to pull that club, or what was that conversation that you had with your caddy, if they mentioned something like that. And it's supposed to be like a real natural conversation, even though you only have 60 or 90 seconds, but it's up to you to like foster a good moment.
Have you had any slip-ups?
Oh yeah, I accidentally told Max Homa it was his first win when it was his third win at Napa.
I bet the internet loved that.
Actually, I hope not. I didn't check.
People were cool.
That's smart.
Yeah, well, I
That's
corrected myself,
okay.
But it threw me off, and I was like,
What
you
color is the sky?
Yeah, and like I love Max, and he's the perfect person for that to happen with. So when we were done, I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was so awkward." He was like, "I don't care, I just won a golf tournament." I was like, "Fair enough, go do your thing."
That's so good. I love. I don't care. I just want to golf.
Yeah, that's literally what he said. And he walked off to take pictures with the trophy. I'm like, "Great, please don't ever remember this moment."
It's got to just be so nerve wracking. It's very. I mean, it's just very impressive because again, like we get to edit. I mean, we don't really edit much, but we get to do a podcast for an hour and a half. You don't have to be on. Or if you say something really stupid, you could just be like, you can just look it up and 30 seconds later be like, hey, I was wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just wrong about that.
I think my most nervous moment over the last year has been I worked the Corn Ferry Tour Championship, and like everybody in this scenario is like, it's not just the winner, it's the top 25 that get in and get their PGA Tour cards. So there's so many storylines and so many things that can happen, and if somebody happens to get in by just one putt, like Justin Lauer, who got in at the 25th spot, just happened to knock out, I think, Taylor Montgomery with, he was able to get up and down on 18 at Victoria National. Like, it just was his personal story. If you don't know Justin Lauer's story, I strongly recommend you looking it up. But then to be able to sit down with him in a really emotional interview, knowing that he had just gotten onto the PGA Tour for the very first time, and that you're responsible for that is so much pressure. And then on the flip side, this was my first time doing a live greenside interview in the broadcast, and Joseph Bramlett wins. He has had 4 years of crazy injuries, is one of the like best players of his age group, and he's been through so many ups and downs, and he's got his tour status, he's gonna be playing the Players, like all these big events, and this was one of those moments where I was like, okay, this is like a make or break for me. Either I do really well and I love this, or like I need to pick a different career. And it was an amazing, awesome, like I walked away with that with so much adrenaline. Like I wanted to cry because it was just so like, this is what I meant to do with my life.
It's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I loved it.
So much more important than what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like that exact. It's important in the sense that
I wouldn't say that.
I'm saying important in the sense that like you have to be on. To kind of echo what Riggs was saying. Like with that guy sitting there, all the emotions. It just happened. It's very raw. It's very real. For that moment to just be handed to a bunch of idiots like us that are going to be fumbling around with like our words and saying the word like a million times and
I usually ironically usually the worse we do, the better it goes.
Yeah, we're in a different lane where if we're a train wreck, it gets more clicks.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And for you, it's like there's such a fine line between. It's almost like if you weren't prepared, it's almost disrespectful for that moment.
Totally.
You know what
You
I
have to
mean?
do your homework. But I firmly believe, I think Ashley Mayo told me this, that golf's media is an ecosystem, and there is a place for everyone.
Yeah.
And without Barstool or without the Golf Channel or whatever, that system starts to fail and it doesn't do what it needs to do.
There's only one person that's extinct so far. It's Jeff Shackelford.
He's becoming extinct, but we won't get into that.
Okay, sorry.
Maybe a different pod. Maybe a different pod. But I think that generally, like what you guys have done for the game and the growth that you've brought to it, like what you guys did with the NCAA stuff, like I think it's really awesome. And I love all your stuff. I listen to most of your pods, so
I appreciate
That always makes me feel
your conversations about the universe, Pirellis.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with it.
It's weird that anybody listens to our show.
It's bizarre.
But
do you ever feel that about like how when people come up to you and
I always find it bizarre that people are like, oh my God, Kira from the Golf Channel. Oh, somebody recently came up to me and they're like, oh my God, are you Kira from the Golf Channel? It was one of the first times somebody said that instead of, oh my God, are you Kira Miss America? And I was like, I am Kira from the Golf Channel. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, in fact that I am.
I am a reporter. Yes, I am.
Thank you. And they had no idea about like that past, which is awesome. Like they knew me for a completely different thing.
5-tool player. That's what you are.
What's the next event you're working?
Farmers.
Okay.
Nice.
And then I'll play the AT&T. So at the end of the AT&T, I will have played more on tour than actually reported.
Wow.
So I'm happy about that.
That's exciting. That's awesome.
And then I'll work Genesis. And I can't tell you I don't know.
Do you get like as nervous for Tiger?
Oddly, no, because I interviewed Tiger 5 years ago for the first time, and like I've gotten to do a lot of stuff with their foundation, and that's almost like a comfort zone for me. Like I get more nervous around like the Dustin Johnsons or the Brooks Koepkas of the world, just because you got to know your stuff, and they will call you on it if you don't. Yep. And they're very nice, but like I gotta be prepared for those.
Totally.
Yeah, especially Brooks. I could see Brooks being like...
And Dustin, you gotta kind of... You don't have to like pry it out of him, but he's not going to give it to you unless you really ask him the right questions.
And they've got no patience for mediocrity or anything like that. Like if you ask a dumb question, they'll be like, no, I'm not answering that. Like, okay, cool. Like,
oh, sweet.
Try to avoid that.
All right, back to you guys.
Yeah. Back to you in the studio. Thanks.
Did you guys see that reporter from the Edmonton Oilers yesterday talk to Leon Draisaitl?
No.
So this reporter, the Edmonton Oilers they've lost like 9 games in a row, and like they're just fed up. They have the best player in the NHL. And everyone, their fan base is just going crazy.
Maybe the second best player in the NHL. Draisaitl's sick.
And maybe the second best player, yeah. So they asked Leon Draisaitl, I guess it's this Hall of Fame journalist up in Canada.
Okay.
And he basically said, like, is there anything that you guys think is going, like, what's the reason why you guys are losing? Like, is there anything you guys need to get better at? And Leon Draisaitl rolled his eyes and was just like Jesus, like, everything. We got to get better at everything. And the reporter just kind of snapped and goes, now, why the hell are you so pissy right now?
Oh, my God.
And Draisaitl was like, what? He's like, and then they got into an argument. And basically Draisaitl was saying, yes, it was all live. And Draisaitl was like, why do you, like, what, you know everything, right? So why are you even asking the questions? You know everything. Like Mike, whatever the guy's name is. And he goes, you're always just so pissy. And the reporter kind of snapped. And it's just funny to see that, like, I mean, you were just saying, like, if something doesn't go right, like, you have to kind of just, like, shoot it back to the guys in the booth. But, like, this guy kind of just lost his mind for a second. And it must happen more often than not in your brain where you're like, I kind of want to tell this guy to go screw himself. Or I want, like...
Kira, do you ever feel that
no,
way?
No, but it's just amazing. No, I don't want to trap you into anything like that.
What's the closest you felt to be?
I just have never seen, because reporters always have, and we've talked about this in this show, that, like, you have to
keep rolling, and you have to be on.
Professionalism.
Yeah.
You have to just be on it, and you have to just
Well, you have to remember, we see them every single week.
That's
like,
right.
The minute that they no longer trust you to do the job, like, it makes the job impossible. So it's just not.
Yeah,
that's nowhere that
It
I
was
ever
mind blowing to see this.
You have to foster those relationships because, like you're
Absolutely.
saying, week in and week out, you're going to be there, and they're going to be there, and it's like, how are we going to do this for a full year if we're at each other's throats?
We've talked about that on our show. We've said some crazy things about players, and then we have to see them in real life. It's freaking awkward.
Yeah, how does that go? Tell me about that.
It's weird.
It's really weird.
So how do you approach it?
We don't. We just run away from it.
Oh, okay, good.
So there's some awkward eye contact. We just heard from someone that, like, Ian Poulter's just never going to do our show because we've been too mean to him.
He says we abuse him, which I don't think is
We
correct.
abuse him on the internet. But I think that was 5 years ago. I personally love Ian Poulter. Our point is that, like, when you do cross that line, it is awkward. You know what I mean? When you see them in person.
Different part of the ecosystem.
There you go.
True. No, I will say we've had confrontations with people that have gone well, like Justin Thomas originally.
Yes.
Like we were in it. We were chirping JT for like a year.
Big time.
Had him on the show, talked it through.
Yeah.
Now
He
we're
was
the
like, yeah,
biggest
there's
fan.
some things that I did that made me come off like a douchebag, but like I thought you guys shouldn't have said that. And we hashed it out. And now we're tight with JT.
I love JT.
Perfect. Yeah. Big fan of JT.
You pick JT every week.
Every week.
I mean, that's a pretty solid bet.
It was a pretty solid bet.
I would say
So you gotta start winning more majors, which I'm picking for this year.
Okay.
Yeah, you are.
I can see it.
All right.
Masters.
Well, Kira, we
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
it.
Yeah. Thanks
Good
for having
luck
me.
this week.
I appreciate it. I've got a badass group tomorrow with
Who?
Michelle Wee and Marty Fish.
Wow.
So
is there any pressure for you to perform at the highest possible ability?
absolutely not.
Really?
No.
Why not?
I mean, I'm just gonna. If I put that pressure on myself, then I will
I'm
be
putting that
performing
pressure
at
on
my
you right
lowest
now.
possible ability.
You're playing with two of the best players in the event right now.
Yeah, but I mean, they're gonna make me better, and they are
Love
both. Michelle is one of my favorite people on the planet, and Marty I met for the first time yesterday, but he came up to me and he was like, "Oh, we're playing together! I'm so excited! Like, it's gonna be a fun, amazing group."
Marty's great. We've had him on the show.
Marty's a cool dude.
I'm excited.
He's a cool dude.
I love his Netflix special and all that stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Breaking
like,
Point.
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Really good.
I watched it recently, like not understanding what it was, but like my husband just put it on, and I was like in it. So I'm really excited to get to play with him.
From the very beginning, and thing just pulls you in.
You're gonna see some good golf tomorrow. Hopefully you contribute.
Thank you. Thanks.
I'm trying to-
I'm detecting a bit
Why are
of
you
doubt.
why are you trying to like?
She's too positive around
He's
me.
putting me down.
I'm not putting you down.
You're
I'm
putting me down
no,
just a little bit.
absolutely not. I'm saying that
You're planting it in my
Cheers,
seed.
yeah, so I'm getting in. I want you to know this is a big round of golf for you tomorrow.
It is a big round of golf, but I'm trying to think of it from
never
an
gonna-
area
She's
perspective.
never coming back to this part of the ecosystem. She's never coming back. If you keep doing
Like,
that.
this part sucks over here.
Come on, Frankie. I want you out there like, yeah, you're doing great.
Oh, I'm gonna root for you.
Okay, good.
I just want you to know what you're. I got Michelle Wee
I'm
out
gonna
there.
root for
we got
you,
Mark Fish.
but
I watched Marty Fish pipe drivers yesterday in the rain.
He was unbelievable at golf.
isn't it
Guy
annoying
should've
that
went-
somebody can be that good at so many different
No,
things?
no doubt my mind could have went pro as a like you know what
I'm
I mean.
sure.
Like if at some point it just went this way, instead of that way, he's a pro golfer. No
He
problem.
was just talking to me mid talk. He was just hitting drives like 330.
Lefty.
How's your game right now?
It's good. Guess who is the only player in the field that gets to play from the forward tees all week?
You?
Only player.
Well, because I'm the only not like man that was a football or basketball or tennis player or whatever, right? So they're playing from the back tees
Yeah.
with the pros. The other 2 women in the field are Annika Sorenstam, who is not playing from the forward tees,
Nope.
and Blair O'Neill,
Okay.
who's also not playing from the forward tees.
Nope.
So I was shockingly not a professional athlete and just like play like a normal person. So
I hope you light it up and win. That'd
I'm
be great.
so excited.
That's awesome.
That's
Good for
huge.
you.
But
That's
they came up to
awesome.
me yesterday and they kind of were like, oh, like, is that okay? Like, have you played from the forward tees? Like, is that okay? Like, hell yeah, I would have
Best thing I heard
Any
all week.
advantage I can get. That's
Yeah.
what I like.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Except for the par 3s. I'll be back on the par 3s because there's like hole-in-one prizes and stuff.
You were dialing it in on the range today?
I was, yeah. I was
Feeling good?
I feel good. Michelle took a look at my swing. Yeah, we played 9 holes on Monday, and I was doing too much sliding, so I'm trying to do like more
Hip turning.
turning as opposed to sliding.
Yep.
So, yeah.
We're all familiar with
Yeah,
the
you know,
slide.
Trent knows a little bit about all that, right?
I do. Yeah.
The swing.
That's what Tillery would tell me. I do too much sliding. You got to keep the hip.
Oh
Just
yeah,
gotta shake
how's
it
your
back.
golf game?
It's pretty good.
I was like really in that journey for a while. Just
Thank
like
you.
The
For a
break
while, then she
100 or
got sick
whatever
of
it
you.
was.
Breaking 100.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
no,
happened though.
It did happen.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank
I've
you
not
very
gotten
much.
to like
95, 96.
95, Garden City Country
That was
Club.
awesome.
nice.
We're gonna be doing Breaking 90 coming up. Pretty much the same deal. Go back down
Are you
to
still in
Tillery.
the Till gang or whatever
Of
you
course.
call it? Okay, yeah.
That's my guy
Okay,
for life.
For life. Got
Me
it.
and Ricky and Kiz. Oh my god, all the boys.
Ricky
Sorry.
with a great DM.
Oh yeah, I DM'd
Oh,
Ricky
yeah,
about
I
it.
heard
We've
about
had
that.
limited
Hashtag
speaking
Till
of
Gang.
Hashtag Till Gang. Speaking of ecosystem, he hasn't come around much, Ricky, but
No.
Well, he has a little bit.
a little bit.
But
a
you
little
planted
bit.
the seed with the Till gang.
Right. So yeah, we DM'd a little bit, and
Didn't you DM him like while you were recording the pod?
yeah, we came up with
Yeah.
it during the podcast.
He was like coming down the stretch in a
Oh,
tournament.
he was playing well.
Finished,
CJ.
like, top-
CJ.
Top.
That's what it
And
was.
we were
yeah.
saying like, and you crafted a message on the show saying like, go get him this week. We need another win for Till Gang or
Right.
something.
I was saying we're all in the same stable.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
a rising
Right.
tide lifts all boats and,
Yes.
and such.
Absolutely.
You
So
can gain much from his success.
that's right. So we all kind of feed off each other. But it's going. The game is.
You're laughing.
Yeah, dude. Come on. Everybody heard that. No, it's a new year. We're gonna try and dial it in again. New
Good.
York now. The East Coast is obviously getting colder, so
yeah,
it's, like,
just a little bit.
it's hard to play when it snows. But I'm gonna, we're gonna work at it and breaking 90, and we're just gonna keep moving forward.
He's gonna do it.
Okay, yeah, I have faith.
I think
Thank
you can
you.
do it. Lurch the only one that thinks you're
Only
gonna do it.
time
I'm
I-
gonna keep it positive for you as opposed to.
Well, I was gonna say I
This guy's
I
out
like to
of
drag
This
people
guy
down
over
to my
here.
negativity because it makes me feel comfort in my own negativity.
Yeah.
So
But I
people
will-
around
It's
me.
good to balance things out.
Yeah,
too.
the only time I'm ever happy in my life is when we did Breaking 100.
That's right.
I
if you watch
genuinely
those
felt
videos,
positive. I felt happy.
He is
my
the
family liked me that week.
he is the positive
You know what I mean?
light
I
force
just was
during
like-
breaking 100. For
I was
sure.
vibrant. I was like coming home.
You had a little
being
color
like,
in your face.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting too much color in my face.
You
right
were
now.
Yeah,
I'm
so
burnt.
you were so positive
Yeah,
during
this
that.
is
Like my
sunscreen.
mom is in love with you. She's just.
We were just vibing, man. Hopefully we can keep that going.
I think we can.
Till gang.
Till
Okay.
gang.
Because it was breaking 100, breaking 90, then it's gonna be breaking Frankie. He's just
Yeah.
gonna start beating all of us. He's gonna get really good.
True.
What do you shoot?
Me?
Yeah. What's breaking Frankie?
Well, my average for 2021 was like a 87.5. So I mean,
Okay.
he's like not
That's
far
close
off.
enough. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're breaking 90, you're basically breaking Frankie.
That's right.
Yeah,
Breaking Frankie would be a good.
that's not good. We gotta do fixing Frankie first, so I don't bring our guests down to a dark, deep level like
Yeah.
I did on the show today.
We almost had to take your microphone off.
No, I appreciate the shock of realism.
There you go.
Appreciate
shock, shock is underlined in
Yeah,
this sentence.
just give me a good reality check.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
Good
you.
luck with
Bye.
everything.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you out there.
Yeah, come follow the group.